Hey guys, welcome back to What If Deku Was OP and Could Edit Quirks Part 3. I've just recorded this all, and I hit the spacebar button. I don't know when, but when you hit the spacebar button, it stops recording on OBS, so this is where we are. Anyway, I just want to thank you guys for the support. Absolutely amazing. Keep it up, like and subscribe. I'll try and get more videos out, but I've been struggling recently a lot, but I'm back on the grind, so let's go. So, just to finish up where we started, Deku is being sent to Island. He got a talk from his parents, and his parents are like, well, they've given up on him becoming a hero, even though now he has a quirk, he hasn't had time to tell them about it yet, and instead he's going to Island. He spent his last day fighting the slime monster, and that was kind of like the last straw for his parents as well, and they're definitely sending him because they want him to basically build either Inventor's Gear for another hero, or maybe even build Inventor's Gear for himself so he can become a hero a lot like Iron Man would, but Iron Man isn't in that universe, so it's a bit of a loose dream. And it was actually a dream of Deku's at one point, so that's why they've kind of got this in him. And Deku realizes they're only doing it for his own good, so he's not mad at his parents for sending him to Island. Anyway, he gets on the plane, and this plane sends him to Island as quick as possible because you've got to remember his dad's rich, so it's like a private jet, and no one else is on this plane. So Deku, well, other than the pilot and the odd person coming in to check whether he's okay and offering him food and beverages, like a chauffeur, I think they're called. No, that's to do with cars. But we move. They come in and to check whether he's okay, offer him food, and so what Deku does on this plane flight is iron out his editor ability a bit more. He realizes that he can edit other people's quirks, but due to him not having a quirk himself, he can't edit his own quirks, nor can he create them yet. But he realizes that this was told by the god, meaning that it's definitely a thing. It's just up to training and experience. That is also when Deku realizes he has a stats button, so he opens that up. He can't change any of his stats. He needs to do training to change his stats, and he can't add any points or take points away. But he can see his stats, and um, he can also he's seen other people's stats. Like you check the waitress, is that the word? The plain person. You check the plain person's stats, and realize that he pretty much the basic for a human is between 100 and 110, and his stats are at 300. Like all his base stats are at 300, and realizes this was during the explosion, or what I'm calling the regeneration process, if you remember that. And it's what his body's done. It's reinforced itself so it can hold this new quirk that will take a lot of power in the future. But he needs to increase his stats to get that power, and he'll do that by training. But what is kind of a roadblock for him is that he can't really go out training when he's now being forced to focus on um, inventing due to him being sent to Island. So it's kind of like a loop. But then he's like, okay. Then he's like, calms himself down, like, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I'll figure something out. Anyway, I think I'm almost here. He looks out the window, and that's when his face is like in amazement as the plane circles around this beautiful looking island that looks high tech yet secure at the same time, free yet heavily guarded. He felt like he was in, I don't know, a paradise for inventors, a paradise for people these days. That is when the plane lands on a runway, and he realizes that there's two people waiting behind the glass of the airport. Bear in mind, this is not a big commercial airport; it's a very small commercial airport. So he realizes that there's two people behind this glass, but due to the surroundings, he can't really concentrate, and he can only really point out that it's a blonde haired girl and a mysterious man in what looks to be glasses. But yeah, again, it's kind of blurry because of the distance and everything like that. Anyway, Deku gets off the aeroplane, gets into the airport, goes through the heavily guarded security due to it being Island. And then, can I just take a drink 1 sec? Sorry. And then he meets these two people. Uh, the strange man in glasses introduces himself as Professor Shield, and that's when it clicks in Deku, and he realizes who he is straight away, going into fan mode and explaining all about him and what he had to do with All Might and his golden age and all that. That's when Shield is kind of like, hey, awkwardly, and tells him to basically calm down. And this is my daughter, Melissa Shield. Melissa Shield, as a confident, bubbly person she is, waves to Deku and says hi and greets herself and basically says, hey, so we're basically the same age, right? And you're here to go to the Inventor's School, aren't you? Well, I'll show you around. I'll show you around. That's when Professor Shield, yes, says, "Oh, that's a brilliant idea. But first, let me explain what I am, basically, who I am to you." Well, you may not know this, but I was very close to your father, a bit like how I was very close to All Might. We were all very close back in the day. So he decided to make me your godfather. Now, if you don't know what a godfather is, it's like a person who's not related to you, but you you would trust them with your looking after your child. I'll fully explain it in the comments if you don't know what it is. It's quite a common term here in the UK, but I don't know whether it's a thing elsewhere, like America or Japan. So I might have to retcon that later, but we move. Anyway, so back on track. Professor Shield is then like, well, I'm running out of time here, so I'm gonna let Melissa take over, or I'm gonna let my daughter take over, because he's a parent, so he won't call his daughter by her full name because that's a bit weird. But he's like, I'm gonna let my daughter take over, and I'm gonna go get on with some work. That's when Melissa's like, oh, hey Deku, are you feeling okay after the flight? It was quite a long flight. And then Deku then kind of shrugs and says, well, no, it was only an hour or two, so it's pretty. You're just off the coast of Japan, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad. So that's when Melissa takes him on the tour of the whole island, showing him some places. But of course, the expo or the event won't be there, so he's just taking him around the shop, so we're getting a drink, and they're all having a jolly old time. Deku, of course, does have one of those golden cards where the limit on the money is basically limitless, so it pays for all the drinks and everything. If you're wondering, oh, how does money work there? We don't fully know, so I'm presuming it works like normal place. But anyway, that is when I'm going to do a mini time skip, because we've already really seen the island and everything about the island. I'm just going to do time skip to after the tour. That is when Melissa finally asks Deku, so are you quirkless then? And Deku then nods yes. Melissa thinks this is kind of peculiar because he's oddly buff for somebody who's, well, quirkless. And then she's like, oh, guess you like working out. Maybe we could meet in the gym one time. And she chuckles to herself. Then she's also like, so I know you're off to the Inventor's School, right? Do you want to meet here tomorrow and I can show you around there too? And Deku then says, yeah, that'll be nice. So Deku goes home and he's thinking to himself a little bit about the system, a lot about the island, a lot about his new school. He's quite nervous. And then he thinks about Melissa and he's like, oh, okay, yeah, she can teach me the ways, I guess. Oh, someone's got a fast car or a loud one anyway. Let's get back on track, back on target. Sorry, I'm just going to get my notes up. Yeah, so this is where I'm going to do a little time skip. Deku and Melissa, they've talked, they've got closer. Deku's got used to the school. He's started inventing stuff, though. He's really kind of behind Melissa, because Melissa's been there for a couple extra years, with her being a slight bit older, but not too old. It's like, I think there's like 2 years in it, so it's not like weird or all That is when Melissa is got closer to Deku as a friend and realised that Deku's true aspirations is to become a hero. So she's been working on something for his birthday. Now, I've completely forgot when Deku's birthday is and whether it matches this timeline. I'm just thinking now, no, she's got a gift ready for, just a gift because he wants to give, she wants to give him a gift. So she's been preparing it for the next couple of months. So that's when Melissa's working in a lab, and Deku asks, "Oh, what you're working on?" And Melissa keeps it a secret. This is after school, so it's kind of like it's not working towards anything on a project. And of course, Melissa is working to make Deku's gift. That is when stuff goes a little wrong, and the gift actually malfunctions and explosions happen. This explosion hits Melissa directly, causing fatal injuries and and really like risking her life. That's when Deku runs over to her and he starts crying because he realizes Melissa's dying. And this is when Green, if you remember what that that kind of energy there, if you remember what that looks like, that starts covering Deku, but then it turns green and starts going into like surrounding Melissa's injury because of course it's like an explosion and shards of metal have gone into her stomach and cut her open. So the shards of metal get grown out of the body, if that makes sense, into Deku's hand. He pulls them out, throws them aside, and Deku then stands there with her in her hands, her injuries healing from Deku's quirk, but Deku too distracted to notice it, and that's when they both pass out from loss of energy. Professor Shield realizes this as he checks his lab, because this is all done in his lab, if that makes sense. And he notices this. Professor Shield takes his daughter and Deku to the not to the infirmary, but rather to their homes. That's because he just thinks they've both passed out, because both of their injuries have been healed. This is where I'm gonna kind of well, I'm gonna explain what's happening. So what's happened is Deku has developed a quirk due to his surroundings. The quirk is the ability to regenerate other people. Now, this doesn't work on himself yet, and there is one key reason why. It's because of the amount of energy it takes, and it doesn't take it just from one person, it takes it from both parties. So if Deku's healing, oh, sorry, not my mic there, but if Deku's healing somebody, it takes energy from himself and energy from the other person. And then that's when Melissa wakes up, and Deku wakes up, and Deku's panicking about Melissa, and Melissa is panicking about Deku, because Deku was in the same room where the explosion happened, but the reason why Deku wasn't fatally injured himself was because all the metal shards went into Melissa, and then Melissa basically realizes that she's healed, and that's when they both suss out that Deku has a new quirk. And Melissa's dead shocked and surprised for Deku. As soon as she realizes this, she hugs Deku, and they both blush. This is where I'm going to be leaving this, this episode story-wise. Now I'm going to explain a bit where Deku's quirk actually ranks within society, because of course there's the, I think it's D rank to S rank. Now, due to the rarity of quirks that heal like this, Deku is a S rank. He has a S ranked quirk, but that's because quirks are not just ranked off. Quirks are ranked off usefulness, not ability to become a hero. If that makes sense. So if Deku used it to try and become a quote unquote hero, like as in going around saving people, it will probably be a D rank at best, C rank quirk, but due to it being able to heal almost any injuries, even injuries that take surgery and are pretty much fatal to heal, and he can heal that in an instant, it makes it a really powerful quirk, and that's why I think it should be ranked S rank. But the first thing Deku whispered to Melissa was, "Can we keep this a secret?" So she's going to keep this a secret as, yeah, Melissa realizes this. As Melissa everyone knows how the ranking system works. So basically, Deku's got his first S rank quirk, and of course, this won't be his last. But as in for him becoming a hero, it's not too useful because he cannot heal himself. But he could become a supporter hero or like a medic or something. But officially, it is a S rank quirk because it can accelerate heal, and it can also let's say if someone loses their arm, it can heal on arm as well, but that'll probably potentially put Deku in a coma due to energy loss, and it could, well, due to the amount of energy it takes, we don't know the backlash yet. We'll find out a bit more about this quirk next episode. Yet again, I want to thank you guys for watching. Absolute fabulous, all the support I've been getting. I've hoped you enjoyed this episode, and I will be doing a part 4 soon. Thanks for watching. I've just repeated myself. Anyway, goodbye. Have a nice day. Bye. That wasn't meant to happen, but still.